Well, hello everybody and welcome along to the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. It's qualifying here at Mid-Ohio. Apologies for those of you who were hoping to be listening on IMSA radio. We've lost connectivity at the circuit here, so hopefully you're seeing and hearing us on IMSA.tv. I can't guarantee that at the moment. Internet has been reconfigured here, and we don't have any pictures in the... Oh yes, we do have some pictures in the booth as well, otherwise that was going to make life very interesting. 13 minutes and 52 seconds to go. No, we haven't got TV pictures, they keep going in and out. I tell you what, let's just turn that off and look at the timing screen instead. It's GT Daytona that are out on the circuit first, 12 of them on a beautiful afternoon. And the Lexus have looked very good. It's Jeremy Shaw and John Hindhaugh in the booth. Down in the Connell Tyre pit lane reporter role is Shea Adam. Good afternoon, Shea.
Good afternoon, John. Would you like to know who your qualifiers are? Is that why you're asking me? Because I did walk up and down and list them all. Dylan McIvern is given duties in the number 96, the Turner BMW. The next pit box towards pit out belongs to Wright Motorsports. 2 cars for them this weekend. Michael Shine is in the 16, and Christina Nielsen is in the number 58, the car that she shares with Patrick Long. Further up the pit box towards the pit exit and on a little bit of a downslope of that hill is John Potter in the number 44. For the Lexus crew, we have a surprise. It is Kyle Marcelli in the 14 and Jack Hawksworth in the 15. So look for those cars to be troubling the top of the charts. Cooper McNeil, who told us yesterday that he would be qualifying because he has to go jump on an airplane here shortly, is in the 63 Scuderia Corse Ferrari. Justin Marks is in the number 93. One of the 2 MSR Acuras going for a pole position here at the Acura Sports Car Weekend. He'll have to fight off Catherine Legg, though, in that number 86, the gray Acura. Almost towards pit exit, we have our 2 Mercedes-Benz run by the Riley Technology Group. In the number 75, the Sun Energy 1 car is Kenny Habul. And in the number 33, second in the championship coming into this weekend, Mr. Ben Keating. And for the pole sitting attempt, at least it will be, as we heard from Madison Snow a little bit earlier on, he is driving the championship leading number 48 Paul Miller Racing Lamborghini. He's looking to get a pole position here at his co-driver Brian Sellers' home track.
Thank you, Shea. Waiting for the cars to come through then. Through to start, Kenny Habul has gone through 1:24.465. Madison Snow out in the 48 Lamborghini. Ben Keating in the 33, as we've just mentioned. Now let's wait for the times to start becoming meaningful. As I was about to say, the Lexus have looked good in the early running here, but so has that Lamborghini leading the championship, the 48 car at the moment, just heading in front of a huge crowd through Madness and through into the S's. Beautiful afternoon of racing here. 11 minutes to go, Jeremy, and you wouldn't put your money on any single one of these cars because it is going to be very tight, and it might just be who brings the Continental tyres up to temp and pressure best.
Yeah, it could well be. It's certainly going to take a few laps to do that, but Kenny Habul, boy, he got on the gas right away, didn't he? That was a great lap by him. A 1:24.4 leads the way at the moment, and that is a pretty impressive effort by Kenny. The 2 Lexus, well, one of them's just gone ahead of Kenny, who's now slipping down the order as Madison Snow does go to the top there. He's got an opportunity. He got some clear track, although he's got one of the Porsches in front of him right now, heading into the keyhole. Flashing his lights is Madison Snow, but to no avail because he's going to be held up on this lap. But he's got the fastest lap so far at a 1:21.7. Justin Marks now up into second place, just a couple of tenths slower. And I think Madison Snow has finally got past as they head down toward turn 4, that Wright Motorsport Porsche. But I don't think this will be a faster lap for him, but everybody else is on faster laps right now. Purple for Jack Hawksworth in the first and second sectors in Lexus number 15. Surprising to me that quite a few of the cars were all in a train there, rather than looking for a bit of clear track to try and set a a good clear lap time. But Jack Hawksworth is coming through the carousel now onto the start finish line toward the checkered flag. There he goes across the line. He will vault all the way from 10th place to the lead with a 1:20.067 for the Englishman in car number 15, the new provisional pole. In second place now is Kyle Marcelli, so the second of the Lexus goes across the line. Car number 14, about 3/4 of a second behind Jack Hawksworth is Kyle Marcelli. That bumps Madison Snow down to third position. And Madison actually did improve on that lap, despite being held up by the slower Porsche going through turn 2. So we'll see whether he can improve even more now. Kyle Marcelli goes purple in the first sector by a little bit over 1/10 of a second from his teammate Jack Hawksworth. Best lap times prior to this qualifying session in GT Daytona, it's been a 15-minute session, was set this morning by Madison Snow. That was a 1:21. Wow, 1:20. Is that right? No, 1:20.4 was the quickest time. Well, Hawksworth is already 4/10 underneath that with the number 15 Lexus, the 1:20.06. And he's looking faster again this lap. He looks inch perfect coming out of the carousel. Across the line goes Jack Hawksworth. He has improved down into the sub-20 range now, 1:19.629 for Jack Hawksworth. Kyle Marcelli, who's running not too far behind him. He's only 4/10 of a second in arrears, having gone purple in sector 1. Kyle Marcelli makes it a Lexus 1-2. Madison Snow does improve, but a 1:20.4, that's good enough only for third place for Madison Snow.
Yeah, not sure be happy with that. Who of the big runners are still to come around? Catherine Legg out there. Acura, they were looking strong in the early running as well. Catherine Legg and Justin Marks on qualifying duty for the two Acura from MSR. But it's the two Lexus, Hawksworth and Marcelli. 4/10 of a second between them at the moment. And who is about to improve? Snow's on another quick one in the 48. As he is in the second sector of the circuit at the moment. That's the twisty bit in the middle. 7 minutes to go. And the top four cars within 8.5 tenths of each other. Snow with a good bit of clear track ahead as he's heading back towards us now. Across the line, Hawksworth does not improve, but he's got lots of track in front of him. Marcelli about to go across the line, almost has. Just waiting for the 48 to come across the line now. And does he improve? He does improve his time, but not his position. 1:20.171. And this is improving. Catherine Legg trying to find some space on the circuit. So, also out there at the moment, the 44 of John Potter. And he comes across the line now and starts his lap with just under 6 minutes to go. Heading up the hill. Jack Hawksworth about to come across and increase his gap at the top of the field, I fancy. So I look to my left out of the commentary box window here. Where is the Englishman? And so here he is, crossed the line now. Wait for a few moments for the time to update. His teammate Marcelli right in behind him. 19.3 from Hawksworth and Marcelli at 19.7. So there's still only 4/10 of a second between the pair of them. There goes Snow, he's right in behind them, and that's a good lap. He's closed in on them now, just 6/10 on the top three. 19.3, 19.7 and 19.9 for the 15 and the 14. That's the two Lexus, and then the championship leading Lamborghini, the 48, is next in line.
Yeah, big improvements then in qualifying compared to anything we've seen in practice so far. Now got 3 cars underneath 1 minute 20, almost a fourth there. Catherine Legg at 1 minute 20.1 in 4th place in the Acura car number 86, just ahead of her teammate Justin Marks by a couple of tenths of a second. Dylan McAvern there in 6th position in the BMW, car number 96. He comes across the line once more time now. Does he improve? Yes, he does, up to 5th place for Justin Marks. Excuse me, for Dylan McAvern. No, didn't improve that. Beg your pardon. Actually, it was a slow down lap. He's trying to cool down those Continental tyres and maybe go for another one right now. But at the moment, it's the 2 Lexus right at the front. And Carl Marcelli's on a flyer now. She's got purple in sector 1, personal best in sector 2. There goes Hawksworth across the line.
They're not. Does improve. Does improve to 19.3.
He's going to need to. There's Marcelli. Has he?
19.317. Oh, so close. 0.053 of a second. The 2 Lexus are working together. Surely it's Kyle's turn to go first now, though, isn't it? He must have closed right up as they are already round the keyhole and heading on to another lap. Have they lifted out of it? That's the question. Catherine Legg up to 4th position for the best of the Acuras, and she's dragging Justin Marks with her as well. So 15, 14, 48, 86, 93 are your top 5. Christina Nielsen into 6th position in the 58 Wright Motorsport, the red and white Porsche.
Catherine Legg up to 3rd place in the Acura car number 86.
That's 2 consecutive improvements for Kat. And that's put Madison Snow, the championship leading 48 Lamborghini, down into 4th position, still on the 2nd row. And Catherine Legg coming back round. She's just crossed the line. Oh no, that's the 44, excuse me. That's John Potter.
It was Madison Snow that had been the pace setter and that 48 car actually yesterday and this morning. 120.4 the fastest time in practice, but you need to find a whole second on that to get anywhere near the pole position, because that's what Jack Hawksworth and Carl Marcelli have done in the 2 Lexuses. Is number 15 at a 1:19.317 to the 1:19.370 for Carl Marcelli, who's in the pits.
Going to be improvement for Madison Snow. Across the line in front of me now, the 48 car. It goes back to 3rd. So Snow and Legg battling it out as into the pits, the 2 Lexus. Hawksworth and Marcelli, 2:26 left. They've done it. They think they've done it. They've locked out the front row right now, and they've got half a second on the rest of the field. The Acuras, 0.6 and a second away. Crossed the line a moment or 2 ago. Did Catherine improve? No, she didn't. The 33 has gone off. Ben Keating to the keyhole at the top of the hill, but he has continued. Snow, no, he's not on it. We'll get one more lap, I think. Yes, they will. It looks like the battle for the front row is complete with the 15 and the 14 now in the pit lane. But who is going to be the inside of row 2? Can Justin Marks find any time? He started a very good lap here, Jeremy, last time around. So let's see what Justin's first sector is as he's out on the circuit now in the 93 car, waiting for Madison to come round, and he will get this lap and perhaps one more. Snow's just coming through the carousel in the final corner. 17, no, he won't. This will be his last lap when he crosses the line.
Except he's not going to cross the line.
Except he's gone into the pit lane. So there's no more from Madison Snow in the 48 car in the pit lane. What about Catherine Legg in the 86 car? Marks has had a decent second sector. He might vault over Kat here. Lexus, Lambo, 15, 14, 48. Catherine across the line will get one more lap. Her teammate goes across the line now. And does he improve? My goodness, the timing's taking a while to get to us today. No, he does not improve. 96 going through, Dylan McAvern. And does improve to 5th position, so he splits the Acuras. Lexus, Lambo, Acura, BMW, Acura, your top 6. And Christina Nielsen pits and now drops down to 7th with that improvement from the BMW.
Ben Keating across line after that spin a few minutes ago. He's in 9th position in the Mercedes car number 33. Didn't quite improve. He's within a 1/10 of a second of his best lap last time around, but he was a personal best in the final sector. Coming up the hill and around the final tricky carousel turning up towards start-finish line. But it is Lexus 1-2 at the moment. Lexus doesn't have yet a pole position to its name. They come close several times, particularly with Jack Hawksworth, who does have a pole to his name, and that was back in 2000.
Karen got one at
Oh, you beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Well done. Well
That
done.
was Shea. That was Shea,
Yeah.
not me. I don't remember stuff like that. Little voice in my head all the time.
Well done, Shea.
Here comes the Turner car towards the end of the lap now. Let's have a look at the split times. Oh, it's not bad. It's not bad. And Marks is on a good one as well. He's very good in the middle sector in that number 93. Cooper McNeil improves. No, it was Mike Shine that improved there. Justin Marks comes through and he peeled off into the pit lane. I don't think he improved. No, he didn't. Catherine Legg takes the checkered flag. It was McAvan that went into the pit lane and doesn't improve clearly. So it will be an all Lexus front row. 15 from 14. Then Snow on the inside of the second row with Catherine Legg for the best of the Acuras. McAvan for BMW in position 5, the 96 car. Then Justin Marks, Christina Nielsen on the inside of row 4. Cooper McNeil for company in the 63 Ferrari. Then the Porsche number 16 on the inside of row 5. Ben Keating on the outside in the 33 Mercedes. Then John Potter's Audi in position 11, the inside of row 6. And Kenny Bull on the outside of row 6. Well, history made here at Mid-Ohio, a lockout of the front row by Lexus. We said those cars looked poised and balanced, Jeremy, and certainly in qualifying trim, they have all of the fastest sectors. Kyle Marcelli, the fastest first sector, and Jack Hawksworth, the fastest second and third. They look strong, and they will be able to control it on the rolling start tomorrow. Yeah,
that's right. Hawks has been on the front row before in GTD, but not on the pole. He does have one pole to his name. That was back in 2014 at Petit Le Mans at Road Atlanta. That was in a PC car, prototype challenge car, but this is his first pole in GTD.
Waiting for the pole sitter to go down to meet Shea Adam, our Continental Tire pit lane reporter, who is waiting at pit out. Hawksworth has fired up and is on his way. Shea.
The glow of the bright yellow headlights as Jack comes down. He's still helmeted, but he has taken his gloves off, and the rumble of that beautiful Lexus engine comes to a halt. Jack making sure he does all the proper procedural stuff, and he looks over to make sure that it's okay to get out of the car, and it is. Very kind of him not to swing the door open and knock over Mike Levitt trying to take his picture. Comes over and gives the casual little bit of a thumbs up. He looks like he's worked hard for that one, John. Gotta say, he's got a bit of sweat on his brow that you can see through the helmet. Wasn't exactly an effortless thing for Jack to claim his second pole position and his first one in the GTD category. The other one came, as Jeremy rightly said, at Road Atlanta a couple years ago in a PC car. So a very different beast, but altogether, it'll be very happy for Jack Hawksworth. And Jack, you've driven here quite a bit before. First off, congratulations. And a pole at Mid-Ohio means a lot to you?
Yeah, no, it was a good day for the team, especially to have both cars up there. So that was that was obviously really good for Lexus, good for 3GT. Shows the work that the guys have been putting in. We tested here a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, and we knew both cars were running very well on this type of track. So we knew we had to capitalise, and obviously both kind of different strategy for our car tomorrow compared to a lot of the other ones. So we'll be hoping for more of a green race, but I think we've opened our options up with both cars for the race, so we feel pretty good about it. So I'm very happy. Great job from the team, and yeah, looking forward to tomorrow.
How did your experience here driving with cars with slicks and wings help you with the Lexus?
Yeah, I mean it made a difference. It's good to know just circuit knowledge in any car is decent, but obviously very different car, very different tyre. You got a lot more weight, and that's the biggest thing. Using the weight and getting used to that. It's the same at every track I've been to with a GT car since coming from open wheel, but enjoying it a lot.
All Lexus front row. Enjoy it tonight, and good luck tomorrow.
Pole sitter for the GT Daytona, Jack Hawksworth, locking out the front row with his teammate Kyle Marcelli for the Lexus brand. Then it's Lamborghini, Acura, BMW, all in close contention. Top 5 separated by just 1 second. Good to hear the dulcet Yorkshire tones of Jack Hawksworth. No nonsense the way he talks, no nonsense, Jeremy Shaw, the way he drives, and that was the stopwatch doing all the talking for him.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? He's yeah, he's a heck of a driver, is Jack Hawksworth, and he's taking full advantage of experience here. He's had the pace on multiple occasions over the last couple of years. The way he's talking about a different strategy there is many of the GTD teams opting to start and have the car qualified by the not quite so fast driver. He shares the car with David Heinemeyer Hansen, who isn't a professional driver, but it's Jack who is, and he qualified the car. So his strategy, what he's hoping for, is an all-green race. He can pull out a lead at the start, hand it over to David, who can then bring it home. It's not an easy track on which to make overtaking manoeuvres here at Acura Sports Car course. So track position is really, really important and can be as the race unfolds. So that was a strategy for the Lexus team. The other two teammates, Carl Marcelli, sharing that number 14 car with Dominic Baumann, and those two are pretty closely matched. Dominic Baumann has a lot of experience in these cars from Austria, and it will be he who takes over from Kyle Marcelli in the second part of the race tomorrow. So that is the 15 minutes of fame for the GTD cars. Out next will be GT Le Mans for their 15 minutes of qualifying. Fastest time in the practice so far in GTLM was set this morning during the third practice session of the weekend for these teams. And it was Earl Bamber who set the way with a 1 minute 20 point. No, 1 minute, excuse me, that was yesterday. 1 minute 18.5, which is only 3/4 of a second quicker than Jack Hawksworth went. So I'm sure we're going to see some substantial improvements from the GTLM cars when they get out for their qualifying in just a few minutes' time.
And Shea Adam has the drivers, or at least some of the drivers who will be qualifying.
I have 6 of the 8 now because I'm still walking down towards BMW. They really are spread out on this pit lane. For Porsche, it will be Earl Bamber in the number 912 and Nick Tandy in the 911. So 2 guys who are pretty happy to go out there in the rain, but have been looking fast all weekend long. For the Fords, it is Dirk Mueller in the number 66 and Ryan Briscoe, who's happy it's not raining, in the 67. Corvette land, we have the 4 of Tommy Milner, still looking for that first pole. Thinks he might be able to get it done today. And in the 3, Antonio Garcia. And for the 2 BMWs, I have seen the brightly colored helmet of Alexander Sims in the number 25, and it is John Edwards, his car mate this weekend. They're sharing a rental car in the number 24. So who's it going to be? Come on, John, give me an answer.
No clue. No clue.
Good question. There's only.
I think it's Porsche.
No, it could be.
I don't know which one.
There's only of the 8 cars, 16 drivers in GTLM, all but 4 of them have at least one pole position to their name coming into this event. The only 4 that don't are Lawrence Vantour in number 912 Porsche, Alexander Sims, number 25 BMW. He's got a couple of fastest laps. Jesse Kroner in the BMW car number 24. Who also has a fastest lap to his name, and Tommy Milner, as Shea just said, in number 4 Corvette. He also has a fastest lap to his name in this championship, but not yet a pole position. He's done everything else, got 6 wins, and would love to get a pole position here at Mid-Ohio. That's for sure. So Tommy Milner, he's going to be pushing very, very hard in car number 4. That is the team that won the most recent race at Long Beach, moving up in the championship standings. Championship in GTLM coming into this weekend is led by Richard Westbrook and Ryan Briscoe in number 67 Ford GT, with a win at Daytona, a 4th place finish at Sebring, and 2nd last time out in Long Beach. That Ford GT drivers have a 7-point margin over Oliver Gavin and Tommy Milner in the number 4 Corvette. Number 4 Corvette on pit lane. Final moments now. The green flag is kind of resting there with Tanya about to show that to the competitors. Then we'll have the 15 minutes of qualifying. Once again, I would suggest that we're going to see the fastest times toward the end of the session. Michelin tires, of course, run by the GTLM cars, both the GT Daytonas and prototypes running on Continentals. But all the GTLM contenders, 4 different manufacturers, of course, 2 cars each from Ford, BMW, Corvette and Porsche. And there is the green flag. All right, this is going to be quite interesting. Only 8 cars on the track, so I don't want to hear any tales of being held up by slower traffic. There's plenty of room around this 2¼ mile racetrack to make sure you have a clean run, but it's going to be interesting to see if some of the teams kind of run together, maybe try and get a little bit of a draft off the teammate car. And certainly there's each of the factory teams, they've all got fully professional drivers who are very, very closely matched within each team. So they can certainly perhaps take advantage of a little bit of a draft without risking holding the driver who is behind. One of the Porsches leaving the pit lane now. We've still got one of the BMWs remains there. Goes the second Porsche pulling off the pit lane, also number 912 car. And as I suggested, most of the teams electing to give themselves a bit of space around the track. Super to see such a fantastic crowd here on a Saturday at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course. We've got plenty of racing action coming up this afternoon. Of course, it'll all start with the Mid-Ohio 120 for the Intercontinental Tire Sports Car Challenge. That will take the green flag less than a couple of hours from now. It's 2:20 this afternoon, and we've got a Porsche GT3 Cup race and a Lamborghini Super Trofeo race later on this evening as well. Action-packed day and lots of people here on hand with absolutely perfect weather conditions. But nice and pleasantly warm now. Temperature warming up. It's pretty chilly this morning. It's about 53 degrees when the cars took the track for the first section of the day. That was the Porsche GT3 Cup qualifying. It's warmed up nicely since then, and it's going to get pretty hot and intense out on the racetrack over these next 15, well, now down to 13 minutes for these GTLM contenders, John.
Don't get a lot of time, do you? It's not like when most people go to work and you get the chance to make yourself a cup of coffee and sit down, have a chat with your co-workers and then get into the business of the day. This is bang, 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 get in the car and go fast quickly.
I do like these 15-minute sessions.
I love them.
Yeah. Just get out there and get the job done. No messing around. Too many other series have these sort of half an hour or 40-minute qualifying session where people put on 2 or 3 sets of tyres.
Yeah.
It's a complete waste of time and money, in my opinion. Just get out there and get it done.
Corvette have a great history at this circuit. Very competitive here, even when they had no competition other than themselves. Remember them coming together in the Exeter pit lane a few years ago in the IMSA competition. Right, let's see who's coming across the line to start a fast lap. And these are the Michelin tired cars, of course, so maybe we'll see something slightly different. Here comes the Corvette. Number 4 car passes us and goes across the line now, already down in towards the first corner. And now starts to head up the hill. Second Corvette already through and into turn 1.
Haven't seen much of the Ford GTs yet in the practice sessions in terms of ultimate pace. It was a number 912 Porsche that led the way in the practice session this morning at 1:18.5. About nearly 4/10 of a second clear of Antonio Garcia, who's driving number 3 Corvette this morning and will do again for qualifying this afternoon. Number 24 BMW, Jesse Corona. He did a nice job in practice this morning, turned the best of a 19.1 to be 3rd fastest in GTLM practice, followed by the second of the Porsches, Nick Tandy, just a 1/10 of a second behind him as well. Actually, both the BMW drivers, number 24 BMW drivers, turned to good laps. Jesse Corona and John Edwards, they both lapped within about just over 1/10 of a second of each other, so those two very, very closely matched. Best lap on the first flying lap for these contenders. Earl Bamber was the quickest, so 1:22.8, so still not yet caught up with even the slowest of the GTD cars, but next time around, expect that to change.
What will happen, Jared, what's happening, I think, is they're putting a heat cycle into the Michelin tyres in a very different way from what we saw the Continental runners doing earlier. Suggests to me that we might see these cars run for 3 or 4 fast laps.
Yeah, at least, I think.
Through goes Antonio Garcia. Improves, but still not representative times. We'd expect to see these cars, what, down in the... What do we think? What did we see them running earlier?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say. Possibly 16s even.
Right.
I don't know. Certainly 17s, I would think. That'd be half a second quicker than Earl Bamber managed this morning. Yeah, I don't think we'll be down in the 16s, but certainly the 17s, I think. But it is going to take. Well, there goes the first guy to get up front is the BMW of Alexander Sims. That's car number 25 for BMW Team RLL, based, of course, in Hilliard, Ohio, just to the west of Columbus.
And his teammates just usurped him by 0.074 of a second. But Sims is on another quick lap. Tom Milner in the Corvette. Number 4 goes through, and he improves. So it's now starting to get a bit serious. 9 minutes to go, and we're starting to get into lap times that are quicker than the GT Daytonas. These guys working up to this gently, feeling for grip, working out where they are in the tyres' heat cycle.
See what I mean about the drivers in the individual teams being closely matched.
Oh,
the
yes.
two BMWs separated by 0.074 of a second on that lap. Alexander Sims comes across now. He does improve again down in the 18s, 1 minute 18.6 for the Englishman. We've already got an Englishman on the pole in GT Daytona. That's Jack Hawksworth. Alexander Sims, also from the UK. This is his second season of racing in North America. Improves to 118.6. But John Edwards from Cincinnati, Ohio, is purple in both of the first two sectors, waiting for him to appear in the carousel turn. Here he is now in car number 24. He's going to accelerate across the start-finish line. And where does that take him? He was faster by a couple of tenths of a second in the first set. He does go to the provisional pole position now with a 1:18.5 for John Edwards in car number 24. BMW 1-2 at the moment.
Garcia just gone past us and goes to third. 1:18.6. So the top three separated by a tenth and a bit. And, well, no, sorry, mate, like the top four now as Ryan Briscoe goes into second for Ford. Here's the second Ford going past us now.
Told you we hadn't seen the Fords show their true hand yet.
No, not at all. Second of the Ford goes through. That's Muller. He's into fourth. They're all in the 18s now all of a sudden. And the top 5 cars, 1:18 something. 3 tenths between the top 5 cars. And we've still got 7 minutes to go. When will Porsche get their first of the quick laps in? Bit of a slide from the 912 of Earl Bamber as he comes into the final part of the lap. He's just gone past us now. The 912.
In the middle sector, John.
Yeah, he was pushing on. He's got to go at the top. Surely he does. 1:18.2. Already heading up the hill.
Yep, Alexander Sims had improved on his most recent lap to a 1:18.309, but now 1:18.227 for Earl Bamber. There goes number 24 car, that is John Edwards. He doesn't improve this time around.
Look at the gaps though. Bamber to Sims, 0.082 of a second for pole position. Absolutely nothing at all. Corvette rumbles by, and that goes to the top for Garcia.
Great
But
stuff.
0.058, so the top 3 cars again within a tenth and a half of each other. This is extraordinary.
Yeah.
That's not even the gap between the nose cone and the back of the front wheel. If they were all racing to the line together, extraordinary stuff. 1:18.169 now, the new mark for Antonio Garcia. I did say Corvette were good here. Next to come through will be Edwards, and Edwards is on another quick one. He's in the 4.56 area now. Sims is in the pit lane, the 25 car, with 5.5 minutes to go. And I think that will be it for them. Into Thunder Valley for the 24.
Both of the Porsches improved on that lap. Earl Bamber improves his time at the front then to a 1:18.036. Nick Tandy in car number 11 goes from last to third.
And here comes the BMW past us and heads up the hill one more time. And does he improve? He does. John Edwards back to the top by almost 2 tenths of a second. Now that is a gap you can work with.
Yeah.
But for how long?
And that is in the 17s then. So the first 1:17 lap for the GTLM cars. John Edwards from Cincinnati, Ohio, in car number 24 for BMW Team RLL. There's a 67 Ford. Ryan Briscoe all the way down in 7th place. Wouldn't have expected that. He doesn't improve that time around. It's Tommy Milner then, who was, he felt he had a good shot at the pole. He's just improved in his last lap, but he's 8th in the Corvette car number 4. 7/10 of a second behind John Edwards in the BMW. What a great lap that was by John Edwards.
Edwards and Bamber exactly the same first sector times. 30.544 apiece, 30.528 for Garcia, so he's got a tiny advantage on the two cars that sit ahead of him. This could be last man across the line. I don't think anyone's coming in here. I think they're going to try and run to the end. They've now run. What's interesting is the BMW, Jeremy, it has run less laps on its Michelin tyres.
Yeah, well, yeah, Alexander Simpson was in the pit lane, but he's just gone back out again, just rolling down the pit lane, and John Edwards is in now, inside 4 minutes to go. So, I'm not sure he's going to have time to get back out again from there.
Oh, and off the 67, Ryan Briscoe. And that is heading into Thunder Valley. Just over the top of the rise. Does a bit of dandelion cropping as he comes back on. In fact, no, it was a little bit further round than that, actually. Yeah, no, it was. I was right the first time. Just over the top of the rise. Now, that was very lucky. He didn't lose any of the bodywork. He's not hit the wall, and he's coming past us now. Crosses the line. That'll have ruined that lap. Was he on a decent one? He was. He was on a personal best, Jeremy.
Antonio Garcia improved. He was actually purple in Sector 2, improved to 3rd position. Now Nick Tandy is purple in Sector 2 in the Porsche car number 911.
Jonathan Edwards in the pit lane. John Edwards in the pit lane in the provisional pole sitter as Tandy goes to 2nd. 0.066 of a second. Now, what happened to the Ford of Ryan Briscoe through turn 9? Took a bit too much curb on the inside and lost it over the top of the rise at 9 as you get loose. And he's very lucky not to A, hit the wall on driver's left, and B, spin right in front of his teammate, the 66 of Dirk Muller, who was chasing him around.
Had a spin yesterday coming off the final corner here in a wet, did Ryan Briscoe. Now looped it in the dry down at turn 9.
He's getting used to it by now, Jeremy, frankly.
.0 for Nick Tandy.
Yeah, up to 2nd, 0.066 of a second between them. Then a 10th of a second back to Earl Bamber. Dirk Muller in 5th position.
So BMW, Porsche, Chevrolet, Ford at the moment with just a few seconds more than 2 minutes remaining in this session.
Couple of laps, isn't it, if you want them? Yep. Tandy's on another good lap.
Yes, he is.
He is going to take provisional pole position if he's clean through the carousel, which is where he is now, working the wheel left and right. He takes a really late apex on the carousel, took a huge amount of speed, and he crosses the line now. And where's the time? The time is not enough. He wasn't quick enough in that final sector, and he does not improve. Edwards still holds on by 0.066. I felt sure there with the fastest middle sector.
Yeah, but he lost a couple of tenths in the first sector also.
Yes, he did.
In that number 911 Porsche. There's a BMW. Alexander Sims gets in between the two Porsches in 3rd place then for car number 25.
So it's BMW 24, Porsche 911, BMW 25, Porsche 912. I like the number symmetry there, guys. Keep that up. Nice and neat and tidy. Nick Tandy has got a lap in that car that will take him to pole position. 1 minute and 7 seconds to go. Tom Milner is in the pit lane for the number 4 Corvette. But there is a lap in there that will take it for Porsche if he can string it together.
Less than a minute remaining. As Dirk Muller goes across the line, he doesn't improve on this lap.
I don't remember seeing the cars so light over the brows here when we were last here in 2012. These cars are really hauling around the far side of the circuit. Tandy with a decent lap, but nothing that, unless he pulls something exceptional out. Here he comes now. He'll get one more lap. Nick Tandy goes across the line. What's his last sector like? Is he starting another quick one? He stayed out there. So Tandy through turn 1. Through goes his teammate Earl Bamber. Earl's on a good middle sector, but he does improve an 18 flat. But that leaves him a 10th and a half away from the 3 ahead of him.
Yeah, in 4th position. Top 3 covered by less than 1/10 of a second.
Extraordinary stuff. Really extraordinary stuff again.
BMW
Edwards
on pit lane.
both BMWs on pit lane
Both
now then.
BMWs on pit lane,
So that's
right.
1st and 3rd in the pits. The 2 Porsches, I think the only ones. Oh, hang on. Antonio Garcia's found some time in the middle sector. Here he comes, crosses the line now.
But not in the first, I think.
What does he do? He's taking the checkered flag, doesn't improve. The flag is out.
Just 1/10 away from his best time, Antonio Garcia, but he will remain in 5th.
Dirk Muller goes through. Ryan Briscoe improved last time around. Muller doesn't improve. Ford 6th and 7th.
Briscoe onto the pit lane. Car number 67.
Just
so
the
he won't
2
improve.
Porsches then,
Yes,
Jeremy, that can
just the
challenge
Porsches.
the
And I
BMW
don't
of
think
John
that-
Edwards.
And neither of them on this lap as
Now they're gonna pit.
representative lap times. I don't think they're going to be. Yeah, here comes one of them in the pit lane now. Wow, there's going to be John Edwards then, isn't it? This will be his 3rd pole position. Yeah,
Wow.
the other BMW, the other Porsche onto pit lane.
Yeah. Both Porsches in. So we have our 2nd of 3 pole sitters for the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship and the Acura Sports Car Challenge here tomorrow. Watching it live here on IMSA TV. And Shea Adam will have John Edwards as soon as the 24 car drives up to meet her at the end of the pit lane. Exciting enough for you, Miss Adams?
Yeah. I thought Nick Tandy was going to pull something out of the bag there for a minute, because that would have made him the leader in GTLM in terms of poles in this series.
Well, here's an interesting stat, Shea. The 3 sectors, BMW and John Edwards has the best 1st sector. Nick Tandy in Porsche has the 2nd sector, the best time there. And it's a Chevy Corvette, Antonio Garcia, who had the best 3rd sector. So that's interesting that that's spread out between the 2 teams. Actually, that's just changed now. So have they disallowed that time? I can't see who's got the best 3rd sector now, but that was...
Is it Bamber?
It might be Bambi, yeah. On those times that I can see there, that's just changed on that. But however, my point is that cars are making their lap times in slightly different ways and being slightly more robust in certain areas of the circuit. John is on his way down to you. Shea, still in the 24 BMW RLL, home ground for the Rahal Letterman Lanigan team. He pulls up, he kills the V8 twin turbocharged engine, and Shea Adam will talk to our pole sitter in just a moment.
This is the BMW that has the blue on the inlet of the air intake on the nose, matching John's helmet. And he gets out. He's so happy. It is his first pole since COTA a few years ago. He did get a pole at Road America 2014. It was 1 year ago?
Yeah.
See, I can't remember.
This weekend 1 year ago. I got
This
the Facebook
weekend?
memory this morning.
That's right. Oh, well, thank you, Facebook, for the Facebook memory. John Edwards, was that your little bit of extra inspiration then to come out here and get pole?
Yeah, I guess when I realized it had been that long, I guess I had a little extra motivation for today. But no, it's nice. You know, I haven't qualified the last few events, so you know, as a driver, you get used to watching, and then you have to do it again. You go, okay, got to remember, you know, how to bring the tires in. It's always a little different than a race. When a race, you go flat out from the beginning and just try to maintain pace on the outlap. You know, in qualifying, you bring the tires in a different way. So it's like, had to remind myself a little, but ultimately it sounds like it was a pretty close session, but we came out on top.
We don't know that the weather's going to be like this tomorrow, but obviously your car is very good in the dry. You a little bit skeptical if it comes in to be wet?
I think based on the forecast, it looks like it's going to be showers and then dry, so I think it's going to be mayhem, but I don't think it's going to be like yesterday where we're running you know, wet tires for an hour. I think that it's going to be who can survive, who can, you know, if it just showers a little bit, who can survive on slicks and not make the extra, you know, extra pit stop for the extra time down pit lane. But yeah, it'll be interesting because I think it's looking more and more like it's only going to rain at the end of the race, if at all. So it's going to be definitely a wrench in the plans if we're running up front, I think.
Well, you're from Ohio. Your boss man's from Ohio. A little bit of added advantage then with hometown knowledge?
I guess so. You know, whenever I watch the IndyCar race, Graham and Bob are always in victory lane, it seems like. So my parents are in Cincinnati, so it's yeah, I'll have some support here tomorrow for sure.
It was second in 2010. Good luck making it one better.
Thanks very much.
Shea Adam down there with our GT Le Mans pole sitter. So add the name of John Edwards to Jack Hawksworth, who captured the pole for Lexus in GT Daytona early on. And now all that's left is for us to find out who is going to be the overall pole sitter. Nasty spin in that last session for Ryan Briscoe. Came through at 9 and just hit too much of the curb on the inside. Earl Bamber with a lock-up at the far side of the circuit from us.
But having spun there at turn 9, it's much easier to hit the wall than not.
Oh, yeah,
Let's put it that way. So look on the bright side there.
Very happy that the car came back unscathed. I think Tandy had, I think there was that .066 was in the car. If we look at the best sectors for Tandy, he did have a good lap time in that car. But now, would it have been enough?
No.
30.3, 30.4.
No, he was purple in the middle sector, but Edwards was quicker in the first and third sectors, and that's what did it for John, particularly the first sector for John Edwards. He's got a full 1/10 of a second on everybody in that first sector, so that's what won in the first couple of corners for John Edwards. A really good fast run through turn 1, which is a very, very quick corner, and a good run and exit to the keyhole turn as well.
0.12 of a second there to John. 0.17. So that's Tandy is 0.05 up if he puts his best lap together. And then at the end, it's 0.33. No, Tandy would have taken it by 0.020 or something like that.
If what?
If you add Tandy's best, presuming they're his best sector times that I'm looking at, if you added them together, Tandy would have taken it by 0.020 of a second or thereabouts if he'd put them together, because he lost 0.12 there. He gained back 0.17 there, so that leaves him 0.05, and then it's 33 there. So
yeah,
thereabouts.
Great stuff. Fascinating.
0.017 of a second, or something like that. Tandy had a slightly better time.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, didn't.
In the end, there's no asterisk next to John Edwards. He did the best job and came in. He knew when he'd done the best he could do, Jeremy. And that, I think, is also very important. Only 6 laps on the tyres for that BMW. 11 for Nick Tandy, and most everyone else around the 9, 10 or 11 mark as well.
Yeah, so once again, as at Sebring, these BMWs looking super strong. At Long Beach last time out, for some reason, they were just lost. They never got anywhere near the setup. I mean, nothing's changed in terms of, nothing significant has changed in terms of balance and performance since then. So for some reason, the cars were just struggling at Long Beach, but both on the bumps at Sebring and here on the much smoother surface at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, BMW Team RLL taking full advantage of this new, for this season, BMW M6 GTLM.
So, to come then, we will find out who is going to be right at the very front of the field. It's not going to be interrupted by weather, so slick tyres, slick Continental tyres for everyone. And the prototypes are ready to go. Shea Adam will give us an update with this Continental Tire Pit Lane report on who is doing the qualifying.
I've made it about 3/4 down the pit lane, so I'm really hoping I don't forget anyone that I've already walked past. But the number 5, the Mustang sampling Cadillac DPI, is Joao Barbosa. The number 31, they played a little bit of a game at Long Beach last time out, but it is Eric Curran behind the wheel of that car. He gave me a nice friendly wave. John Bennett is in the 54 Core Autosport prototype. And who is next on the pit lane? I think it was the JDC Miller Motorsports guys. Misha Goikberg is driving the Red Dragon, the Gainsco number 99, and it is Robert Alon in the number 85. We go to ESM land, where in the 2, it is Scott Sharp, and in the 22, it is Johannes van Overbeck. For the Mazdas, in the number 77, qualifying duties going to the man who has not been here before, Oliver Jarvis. Watch that car. Car number 55 will be Jonathan Bomarito, though. So Jarvis in the 77, Bomarito in the 55. Down further in the pit lane, in Acura world, it is Dane Cameron who is getting the nod in the number 6. And as we heard from Ricky Taylor in one of the sessions earlier, Elio Castroneves piloting the 7. Now I only have 2 cars left on pit lane, and they are the 52, the AFS PR1 Matheson Motorsports. That would be, let's see, whose helmet is there? I can't quite see through the windshield. Oh, it's Gustavo Jachmann going for pole, and the last car on the pit lane who had a minor barbecue earlier with only one of their brakes, the number 38, it is James French getting qualifying.
Thank you, Shea Adam, for that Continental Tire pit report. Qualifying about to get underway. Green flag is in the air and they are rolling.
Yeah, and it's been the two Acura Team Penske cars both remaining on pit lane. They're quite content for everybody else to get out there first of all, and then they will try and get some clear track behind them. They've been first and second in each of the 3 practice sessions leading into this qualifying period. And it's the Dane Cameron car number 6 that set the fastest lap of the weekend so far. That was this morning, 1 minute 12.675, average speed of 111.8 miles an hour. Just less than a tenth of a second clear of Helio Castroneves in number 7. So that's going to be a great battle between those two. I think those two are going to be going for the pole, but maybe there's some other dark horses out there as well. Third fastest in practice this morning was Jonathan Bomarito in the Mazda Team Yost car number 55 at a 1:13.7, so a full second behind. And then right behind him was Colin Brown, did a great job in number 54 Core Autosport, Orica Gibson. And then the second of the Mazdas, Oliver Jarvis right up there, 16.5. And Misha Goikhberg in car number 99 has set the 7th fastest lap of the weekend so far in that Red Dragon Orica Gibson. So Misha Goikhberg is really driving well here this weekend, the Canadian-based Russian, loving his driving. He was actually quicker than Steven Simpson in the session this morning. So really good job by Misha. See what he can do in this qualifying session.
So, how are these guys going to work their tyres? Once again, we have to ask that question. And the tyres, the Penske Acuras have rolled out and will roll out right in front of the cars that went earlier on. The 7 and the 6. Cameron in the 6, Castroneves in the 7. So it is the number 10 then, Renger van der Zande, who was first through the line. At the end, there at the out end of the pit road here at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, down through the kink at the rolling start finish line. Now into turns 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9, which pretty much come together, and you have to think of them as a complex. Big crowd down there on driver's right hand side. Great to see the sports car fans have come out to support IMSA here at Mid-Ohio. I'm not certain that we will necessarily see the fastest times straight away.
No, it'll be a few laps before these guys really get up to speed and start seeing representative lap times. In the practice session earlier on this morning, it was probably 8 or 9 laps. I don't expect that to be the case now. It's quite a bit warmer now than it was this morning. Plus, the cloud cover here, though, is pretty conducive, I would say, to fast lap times.
Going to get a 12, are we?
Well, it'd certainly be in the 12s, yes.
Going to get an 11. There was a smile on the face of Joao Barbosa when we asked him that yesterday. Yeah, it's nice conditions.
It is, I think it is good conditions.
So the 17s at the moment, if you're watching along on timing and scoring from the IMSA, the brand new IMSA app for this weekend, or via the web at imsa.com, 17.7 for Renger van der Zande. That will not be enough. Considerably not enough. These guys, this is like the opening rounds of a heavyweight boxing fight live from Las Vegas that I used to listen to in my youth on the radio. Harry Carpenter for the BBC. Middle of the night it invariably was. Transistor radio in the darkness up in the northeast of England. It was always dark in the northeast of England in those days, obviously. Never saw daylight.
Day or night.
Yeah. With the pit ponies all day, and then it was, you know, little transistor radio, listening to it. This is a bit of sparring, a little bit of jabbing going on at the moment, just getting themselves warmed up, finding the right opening, finding the right piece of track. That's exactly what's going on here. 15 now for Dane Cameron and the Acura. And this is where we see how the different chassis work their tyres differently. Different chassis and engine combinations for all of the manufacturer back cars. But they're all the same. There's only 4 chassis allowed. So it's one of 4 chassis available to all of the top class here in IMSA competition. Eric Curran with a 15 as well last time around. Very interesting how these guys are just bringing themselves in. Now, when do we see someone pull the pin? When will we see a low 13 or a high 12? That's what I'm expecting to see. And maybe it's going to be Dane Cameron, because he, all of a sudden, has just started to put in lap times that are 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 tenths quicker in the sectors than anyone else. Dane Cameron then, already the best time, goes past us now, crosses the line. We wait for the timing to update. A 13.1, there you go. Now we're starting to get interested. That's still not going to be good enough for pole position, but what that is a statement of intent, and much quicker. Remember, the Acuras didn't go out, Jeremy, the same time as anyone else, so that's come earlier in the stint for the Acuras.
Yeah, it has, and Elio Castroneves, he's got a little bit of traffic there. I'm surprised at that. But that lap of Dane Cameron, 1:13.181, that's already significantly quicker than anybody else has been this weekend, other than he and his teammate.
Right, here we go. This is throwing overhand now from Dane Cameron. A 27.9 in the first sector. I'm not sure we've seen a 27 in the first sector this week. So this is another quick lap from Dane Cameron. Bomarito goes into second for the number 5 Cadillac with a 14.2, but that's already over a second. And a 21.9 in the second sector. Oh my goodness, this is going to be a 12 something. It'll be a high to mid to high 12, possibly even better. There he goes past us. Now let's wait for the timing. As he goes through turn 1, it's a 12.2. It's a 12.2. There is an 11 out there. There's definitely an 11 out there. And Cameron's going for another one, and he's got clear track ahead of him as he heads through the keyhole.
Joao Barbosa just improved in the second place car number 5, the Mustang sampling Cadillac, but he's still 1.2 seconds behind Dane Cameron. A magnificent lap by Cameron. Castroneves now into the picture as well, in second place in car number 7 with a 1:13.0.
But that's 8.5 tenths away from his teammate. That's extraordinary. 27.9 again for Dane Cameron. It's not even his best, because his best is the best of everybody, but it's still 3 tenths better than the next. But still, he's on a quick lap, and still, he's got no one in front of him.
Stunning lap by Robert Alon in car number 85. The yellow submarine that would have been on yesterday in a wet practice session, or the banana boat as it's more regularly, and the number 85 car for JDC Miller Motorsports up to 3rd place.
Stand by for a 71-second lap in a sports car. It's going to be Dane Cameron if he gets it clean. There he goes past us, and now the anxious wait of 2 or 3 seconds. And it's, oh no, it's still another 12.224. So he's just eased a couple of hundredths and thousandths away from Elio Castroneves in second position. The gap is now 0.83 of a second. Is there one more lap in the tyres as Van der Zande comes in to second place in the number 10 Cadillac? And that's an impressive run by the young Dutchman, the number 10. Very sleek, gloss black Konica Minolta Cadillac in second now. The Cadillacs not showing their hand in the early running here, but when it counts in qualifying, they've got something for the field. I say that, but they're still 3/4 of a second back from Dane Cameron, but that is the Dane Cameron effect.
But at least now we've got 6 cars within a second of Dane Cameron.
Yeah.
Really there was no one in the last practice session. Both Mazdas now up inside the top 6. 4th place for Ollie Jarvis in 77, and 6th for Jonathan Bomarito in number 55.
And Dane Cameron, as he comes through this time, I'm not sure he's going to improve, but he will have the top 4 laps of anybody out there as he goes through now. Oh, Van der Zande's found some time in the middle sector. Yep, a 12.2. So he's got a 12.224, a 12.268, a 12.27 something, and I think there's another 12 in there. I think Dane Cameron's the only man that's, well, I know he's the only man that's been in the 12s until now, as we wait for Van der Zande's time. Yes, a 12.6 for Van der Zande, and he's pulled it down to under 4 tenths of a second.
Castroneves though up into second place, purple in the final sector for the Brazilian now. Car number 7, a 1:12.3 for Castroneves, 1:12.2 for Cameron. Renger van der Zande 1:12.6. Who's going to be next into the into the 12s. Not quite for Misha Goikberg, though, in 4th place in car number 99, 1:13.078. Great lap by the Canadian-based Russian. Wow, some great lap times here. Big improvements by many of the field. Not quite such a big jump by the Acuras as from this morning compared to some of the other guys. It was really, they were long gone this morning, but now we've got, what, 7 cars within a second. Gustavo Jacquemin improves into 8th place, just over a second off Dane Cameron's mark at the moment. But Elio Castroneves has improved in both of the first 2 sectors. Nothing purple there, but both blue sectors, which means it's an personal improvement. He's coming around now the carousel.
So 4.5 minutes to go.
And he goes to the
Elio
top.
goes to the top. 1:12.2. Elio has got it. Magnificent.
By 0.009 of a second.
I'm not letting that young whippersnapper beat me to pole, he says. Fantastic stuff. Absolutely brilliant from Team Acura. Penske.
Purple sector there for the 4th place car. Oliver Jarvis in the Mazda. It was purple in sector 3, the final sector, so the final few corners here on this 2.25 mile racetrack. Up into 4th place again. Car number 77 is a 1:12.9 now for Oliver Jarvis. So it's number 7 and 6 Acuras that lead the way. The number 10 Cadillac of Renger van der Zende in 3rd position. Oliver Jarvis in 4th, just ahead of Misha Goikberg, who didn't improve that last time around, but he's thinking a bit more time in number 99 car. Gustavo Jacquemin up into 6th place for AFS PR1 Matheson Motorsports.
Great time for the Yak Attack. Won't have great memories of here. I seem to remember him not having a great race in the Grand Am race here when he hit everything except the pace car. Misha Goikberg in 5th for the 99.
Another 1:12.3 for Cameron last time around, but he's got to find another 1/10 of a second or so. There goes Castroneves.
I don't think he'll improve.
No, he slowed down on that lap. He's probably going to try and
Cameron is
get
so
on to another
good.
one now.
Ollie Jarvis up to 3rd. Ollie Jarvis for Mazda. Acura Mazda. The Japanese manufacturers then pulling it out when it matters. And Ollie Jarvis, who's not raced here before, is just 3/10 away from pole position. 3/10 away from the front row as well.
Jacquemin improves up to 5th now, ahead of Misha Goikberg in the Ligier. Car number 52, a 1:12.8. So we've now got 5 cars in the 12s. We've got 8 cars within a second of the front. It doesn't include either of the Action Express Cadillacs. Joao Barbosa in car number 5 in 9th position. Eric Curran, his teammate, right behind him in 10th place. Both of the Nissans also outside the top 10. Johannes van Overbeek in car number 22, a 1:13.7. And Scott Sharp bringing up the tail of the field in the prototype ranks. That's the car that finished, what, 2nd last time out, didn't he?
Cameron back to the top, 1:11. I told you there was an 11 in there, an 11.984. Dane Cameron, with Elio Castroneves having improved his time by almost a full 10th, and he's knocked off pole position by the young pretender at Penske Acura. And now the Acuras have half a second again on the rest of the field, and everyone is left scratching their heads.
Yeah, but at least it's not the second that it was this morning.
No, true. A second now will take you down.
Who was that? Jonathan Bomberito
in the second Mazda.
P5.
A second, well, 0.998, which is a Mini Cooper number, isn't it? A second will take you down to Gustavo Jacquemin. 1.051 will take you down to Misha Goikberg in 7th position.
James French moves himself inside the top 10 in car number 38 for Performance Tech Motorsports, ahead of Eric Curran.
Let's add Joao Barbosa into that as well, because the top 8 are within 1.056 seconds. I'm going to call that a second, and I'll say that's the first four rows within the same second. Cameron clearly wore himself down to the wire at that last run and pulls into the pit lane.
Purple in sector 2, just comes across the line. Oh, he doesn't improve.
3/10 quicker than I've seen anybody else go in sector 2. A couple of tenths quicker than Cameron's last lap, in fairness.
That is tight, isn't it? There goes Castroneves again as Cameron pulls onto pit lane. So Castroneves, he remains out on track. Yep.
One more lap for the old stager. He won't mind, and he probably will mind me calling him that. He's young at heart though, isn't he? He's not getting any slower though, is he? Elio Castroneves competitive, committed, passionate, and a great interview. What more could you want from your racing driver? Oh, and blisteringly fast as well, by the way.
That's exactly right. You have a birthday next week, by the way, with Elio. He'd love to celebrate with a pole position, but he'd love to celebrate even more
Still
with
on
a
it.
victory. That's on for tomorrow's Acura Sports Car Grand Prix of Mid-Ohio.
27.8 in the first sector for Castro Neves is not bad. Checkered flag is out. Through goes the number 10 of Van der Zande. I don't think he's going to improve from his fourth position. Check that. It was Joao Barbosa that I caught out of the corner of my eye through the commentary box window. There's the number 10 going through now, Van der Zande. Barbosa improved on that last lap to a 12.9. Van der Zande doesn't improve. Oh, Castro Neves is coming back. Castro Neves is coming back. It's going to be oh so tight at the line, and Castro Neves might just nick this. He crossed the line now. The checkered flag is out. And does he go at the top? Still waiting for the time. He does. 1:11.837. A tenth and a half quicker than Dane Cameron in the pit lane. And Acura 7 and 6 are positions 1 and 2 for Roger Penske and Tim Cindric. And the Acura Sports Car Challenge on Sunday will be paced around by 3 Acuras, one as the overall pace car, and the 2 Acuras on the front row, and it's 2 Mazdas behind. Acura, Mazda, Cadillac. The Noah's Ark Sports Car Challenge on Sunday. Jarvis from Bomarito, 7-6, 77.55, 10 and 5, all reverse number orders for the cars in the first 3 rows. Van der Zande and Barbosa improving at the end to that 6th position.
That was fantastic. The 2 Acuras then maintaining their positions at the front there. They've been first and second in every single session this weekend so far. They maintained that in qualifying, but they certainly had to work hard for that. Okay, yeah, they are a half a second clear of Oliver Jarvis in 3rd place, but a great lap by the Englishman, his first ever visit to the Mid-Ohio Sports Car course, other than a test here. But Jonathan Bomarito, that makes it Mazda 3 and 4. That's great news for that organisation. And I tell you what, my hat's off to John Bennett. He might be last in the car number 54 in Core Autosport, but he's not a professional driver, and he's got within 0.004 of a second of Scott Sharp, who's been around this sport a long time, in the number 2 Nissan. That is the car that finished second last time out at Long Beach. So hats off to John Bennett there. And Colin Brown, he's going to be rubbing his hands because he knows that car is very fast around here. So it is then the 2 Acuras at the front, the 2 Mazdas, the 2 Cadillacs. The best of the global P2 cars is Gustavo Jackerman for AFS PR1 Matheson Motorsports car number 52 in the 7th position. But we'll see what he can do in the race. Misha Goikbo's right behind him as well on the same, within a few thousandths in the number 99 JDC Orica. His teammate Robert Alon right behind him as well in the other number 85 car. So this is a very, very closely matched field.
It's magnificent, isn't it? Absolutely magnificent. And in the last 2 races, we've had an Acura on pole position. Different Acura, different driver, but both very experienced and very vocal. A ridiculously happy Elio Castro Neves is patting the Acura logo on the front of his prototype straight into Shea Adam, who is standing there for this Continental Tire Pit Lane report.
Elio Castro Neves is like a kid on Christmas who just got every single thing he's been asking for on the list. He is yelling and just jumping with joy. Elio got to have a little bit of fun earlier on this week, got to go run around Indianapolis Motor Speedway in an Indy car, and it certainly has rejuvenated him. Not that he was ever even down on energy, but man, what a performance. Found out that Dane Cameron was just that little bit ahead. You needed to dig a little bit more, and somehow he managed to find it. As I'm sure you can hear the yips of joy in the background. And for Elio, it's got to be extra special knowing that this is the Acura Sports Car Grand Prix weekend. Last time out, we had the first pole for an Acura. You came out and matched one, though. You got one yourself. How hard were you pushing that lap?
Oh, my God.
Woo!
first of all, it was actually incredible. No, thanks for Acura Team Penske. I mean, obviously myself, Ricky, Juan Pablo, and Dan was pushing really hard, and that was actually gave me a little bit of inspiration to go out there and try everything I could to put this lap. But as you said, it's Acura not only sponsoring the track, but the factory is just a few miles from here. So it's great to be putting 1-2, you know, obviously for not only for Acura, but also Team Penske. We put this program, you know, really serious. We're making things happen, and obviously the result, yeah, it didn't show the result that we're expecting, but it's not because of, it's just things happen. But in the end of the day, right now, speed, we have it. This is the right place. Hopefully, we're going to be continue 1-2 just the same way.
How much of a breath of fresh air is it for you guys, knowing that you're going into turn 1 tomorrow with nobody in front of you? You can just hang on to that lead.
It's always good to start on the front row. Yeah, you know, start eliminating issues, potential issues, you know, in the race. But again, we got to focus obviously on qualifying. Qualifying, we got the job done. Now we have the race tomorrow, so it's going to be a tough one. It's the first time for me. I never been here in Mid-Ohio other than IndyCar, so it's kind of like I have the GTLM, the GTD, and what else we're going to find out there. So it's going to be very interesting. But man, what a great lap. It was really cool.
You have gotten a win before in the single-seaters here, though, so let's see if we can do it again tomorrow. Good luck.
I have no idea. I know that we're going to do it. I know the team that I have it. Now it's just going to depend on myself. Oh, and my teammate, because now IndyCar is only about me, but now I have a teammate for Ricky, we made it, man.
Just want to leave that hanging for a moment there.
Brilliant.
Absolutely brilliant stuff. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Entertainment par excellence from the prototype field here. And Shea Adam with the first interview. And Elio goes straight to Ricky Taylor, who's in one of the Acura VIP drive cars, giving some very lucky people a run round, and a big congratulations from Ricky to Elio Castro Neves, who joins John Edwards for BMW and Jack Hawksworth for Lexus. What a good day for Japanese manufacturers. First through fourth in prototype, locking out the front row of GTD. And by the way, Acura makes it make that 4 out of the top 6 in GTD. So Acura, Mazda at the front of the field, and Team Yost against Team Penske. These are the headlines that we were hoping for when we heard that these team groups were coming in to the championship. And now here at Mid-Ohio, we are going to get the Battle Royale at the front of the field. And it will be all live here, the Acura Sports Car Challenge from Mid-Ohio, and our trackside commentary with plenty of build-up on RS2 at IMSA Radio. Shea Adam was our Continental Tire pit lane reporter. Jeremy Shaw was alongside me, John Hindhaugh. And we're going to sit down in a darkened room and be rubbed down with damp cloths. Oh, my goodness. Join us tomorrow for the race. It's all live on IMSA Radio and IMSA TV. Well done, Jeremy. Well done for carrying the start of that while we were messing about.
There's a lot of fans out there.
A lot of fans.
Yeah, I mean, for practicing qualifying. Yeah.
How long before Shea's back up? 47, did you say?
Right, I'll tell her.